5th of January, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua.
Good afternoon. Put on my video. Okay. A second. Okay. Right. Okay. One second. Very good. Okay, now I'm with you. The Pasuk, hey.
Hey.
Ato, Pasuk, hey.
Ve'ata shnei v'necha v'no ladim lecha be'eretz Mitzrayim ad bo'i elecha Mitzrayma li haim Ephraim u'Menashe Kireuven v'Shimon Yu li. So now, your two sons who were born to you in Egypt,
Land of Egypt.
in the land of Egypt, before my coming to you.
Yeah, no, actually, this is a gerund form, which in English you would translate as I came. Ad bo'i elecha. Literally means until my coming to you. But nowadays in modern English, okay, until I came to you
to
Egypt.
They are mine.
Right.
Ephraim and Menashe, like Ruvain and Shimon, they will be for me. Or to me. They will be to me. Okay.
They were considered mine.
Right.
They're considered, the Ephraim and Menashe are like Reuven and Shimon to me. Okay.
So Rashi says the no ladim lecha the gomer ad bo'i elecha, that were born to you, etc., before I came to you. Livnei bo'i elecha, before I came to you. Klomar, that is to say, sheno do, that they were born mi sheparashta mimeni, from the time you separated from me, ad sheba si eitz lecha, until I came to you.
Right. So during that time, so ad, see, Rashi is bothered by the fact the term ad is always like the other end of a scale, or there's a starting point and an end point.
Right.
And ad is pointing to the end point. So Rashi's, what is the beginning point that you use the term ad? Whereas if you just say lifnei bo'i elecha, that's fine, because we're only discussing one point in time. But what is the ad? Ad is always indicates 2 points in time, from one to the other.
Right. So it's from the time you left.
separated from me until I came to you. During that time, they were born to you.
Right. Got it. Okay, so Lihaim, they are mine. Becheshbon She'ar Banai Haim. They are among the total of my other sons.
I mean, in the calculation, they're considered like in the calculation of my other sons. Meaning, in how many sons that I have, I consider Ephraim and Manasseh like Reuven and Shimon, i.e.,
i.e. Litol Chelek Ba'aretz, to take a portion of the land, Ish Ke Negdo, each like his counterpart.
Right. Assuming that means corresponding meaning. Ephraim and Manasseh will also be considered in the number of the other tribes who are going to get a portion in the land. I mean, the Maisa, it's Reuven, Shimon, not Levi, because Levi was this exception. But Reuven, Shimon, Yehuda, Yisachar, Zvulun, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher. Those 11. So actually, it's how many are there? Sorry, 10. Okay. We have a Binyamin as well. I'm sorry. Reuven, Shimon, not Levi, Yehuda, Yisachar, Zvulun, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Binyamin. So it's 10. There's 10 others. And there's also going to be Ephraim and Manasseh. They're going to be make the number up to 12. And therefore the land is going to be divided up into 12 sections, going to 12 tribes, where Ephraim and Manasseh are considered like two tribes. Yeah, if I remember rightly, I think I can't remember the Meshech Chochmah, which is the Meir Simcha of the Vins. I think he says a pshat that only with regard to the how should we say, inheritance of the land, and this being considered two tribes as far as basically division of basically as far as division of the land, and also as far as the encampment in the desert, which was somewhat equivalent to that. So only Gabe that are Ephraim and Manasseh considered like two tribes. But for instance, we see later when the Jewish people received the blessing and the curse on how Grizim and how Evo, then Ephraim and Manasseh were not. Yosef was considered a tribe. And Levi. So you had Reuven, Shimon, Levi. That's one example. Similarly, on the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol, Ephraim and Manasseh were not considered two tribes. Yosef was a tribe. It was actually, according to some opinions, he was written as Yehosef, as his name is stated in today's Shir Shal Yom, Eidos B'Yosef Samo. Sorry, what's the Russian there? Eidos B'Yosef. Forgotten exactly Russian. This today's Mizmor, today's Shir Shal Yom.
Right.
One there he's called Yehosef. That was his name on the breastplate, and Levi was also on the breastplate. So basically, it's only really in regard to Nachala, regard to inheritance, as then Ephraim and Manasseh were considered like two tribes. Okay.
All right, so we're up to Vav.
Vav, yeah.
Umuladticha asher holadta acharehem lecha yiu al shem achehem yikaru b'nachalasam. So but your offspring that are born after them, they will be yours. And included under the name of their brothers
in their inheritance.
They will be called for their inheritance. So Rashi says, "Umoladaticha v'gomer," but your offspring, etc. Im tolid od, if you will have more. If you'll have more,
If you have more children,
lo yiyu b'minyan banai, they will not be among the number of my sons. Ella, rather, besoch shivtei Ephraim, u'menashe yiu niv halalim.
nichlalim.
Halalim. They will be included among the tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh.
How so? Rashi doesn't explain.
Below Yehei Lahem Shem Bishvatim, and they will not have a name among the tribes. Le'inyan ha'nachala, regarding the matter of possession. V'aval pi she'nich l'ka haaretz, and even though the land was divided, le'minyan Gulosav.
Now Rashi is saying a general question over here. What difference does it make whether Ephraim and Manasseh is considered one tribe or two tribes? The Maisa, the land was divided out into individual portions for all the people who entered the land. So Machlokes according to the end of those Vayechi Mitzrayim, all of the Boy Haaretz. But it was divided up into a number of individuals who entered the land, which was about 600,000 portions, a bit more. Okay?
Right.
But so, and therefore each one got an equal portion. So it didn't really make a difference whether, I mean, let's say, I'll give an example for argument's sake. Let's say Ephraim, the tribe of Yosef together, Ephraim and Manasseh together, 70,000 people. Which was closer to 80, I think. 80,000 people. And the tribe of Ephraim is 50,000, the tribe of Manasseh is 30,000. So what difference does it make? So if there are two tribes, so 50,000 of Ephraim are going to get and 30,000 Manasseh are going to get. And if it's one tribe, then 80,000 of descendants of Yosef are going to get. So it really doesn't make a difference whether you consider them one tribe or two tribes.
Well, that's true in terms of the size of their inheritance, but not in terms of the location.
Sorry?
It's true in terms of the size of the inheritance, but not the location. Ephraim and Manasseh each get a place, a physical place in Israel. And those are different places.
Let me ask you, did all the tribes get in all their portion just in one place? Or sometimes was it divided, that their portion was divided?
Only Ephraim was divided.
Manasseh.
No, Manasseh.
Oh, only Manasseh was divided.
But you see, Akopanim, the Manasseh was divided.
Right.
Half received on the other side, on the east bank of the Jordan, and half received on the west bank.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So you see that the fact that they were considered one tribe did not Actually, what's the right word?
If they were one
That
tribe, then the tribe of Manasseh would be together.
prevent the fact that they could be the descendants would take two separate portions, half on one side of the Jordan, half on the other. See, one tribe could be split into two. So similarly, if they'd all been the tribe of Yosef, they could also been split into two or three.
So you're saying it wouldn't.
Anyway, Rashi, let's see what Rashi's answer is here.
Kediksiv, as it is written, L'rav Tarbeh Nacha Lasso. For the numerous ones, you shall increase its inheritance.
Right.
V'chol ish v'ish. And for each and every individual, Natal Bishaneh.
B'shaveh.
Bishaveh. Give them equally.
Each one took an equal portion.
Chutz min ha-bichoros, except for the firstborn. Mikol makom, nevertheless, lo nikru shevatim. They were not called tribes, ella elu, except for these. So Rashi hasn't said anything. What I'm saying is,
I have now here added in brackets. Do you have it in brackets here? In addition,
brackets. The sons of Joseph were not called tribes.
One second. Lahato gorel haaretz leminyan shmeis hashvatim. V'nosi l'kol shevet v'shevet v'golim lezer lezer. You have those words? That is your Rashi end. L'kol makom lo nikru shvatim elo eilu. These were only, as far as the names, it's more not necessarily ceremonial, but as far as an administrative division or privilege, Ephraim and Manasseh were considered like two tribes. As Rashi says, do you have those words, by the way?
No.
In your edition?
No.
Okay, so I'll read it out. To take a lot, okay, in the land, according to the number of the names of the Shvatim. In other words, had Ephraim and Manasseh be considered like one tribe under the name of Yosef, so they would have only got one section called Yosef. Now that the two tribes, they get two sections, one called Ephraim and the other called Manasseh, which is maybe an administrative difference. I'm not sure administrative is the right word over here, but it's a more of a it's not just ceremonial. It's more okay. Maybe it's right. Administrative difference. But Nasi Lakol Shevet Shevet, they had the privilege of having a separate leader for each tribe rather than just one leader. With Golim Lezer Lezer, and each tribe from Manasseh had their own flag in the setup of the different tribes when they encamped in the desert. So they were, Ephraim and Manasseh were considered like two tribes and not one tribe. So each one had a separate flag. Okay.
Let me ask you this. What were the criteria and what was the process or procedure for determining where the portion of the tribe was located?
So if you look in Rashi, in Parshas Pinchas, me see if I can bring it up over here. Maybe I do have 1 second. Just Pinchas. It's actually on this pasuk, which Rashi quoted before. Lo rav tarba nachlose. I'll read it out to you. Yeah, I'll read out to you Rashi in this is in Parshas Pinchas, chapter 26, pasuk 54. Lo rav tarba nachlose. For the more numerous, you shall increase his portion. So Rashi explains the Shevet Shayamurubin Uchlusi, the tribe that had many, not inhabitants, many members, right? The tribe that had Nosnu Chelek Rab, they gave a large portion. Va'af al pisha lo hayu achalokim shavim, even though the portions weren't equal, she'akol lefi ribui hashevet, cholko hachalokim. Okay? In other words, according, let's say, for instance, the tribe of Yehuda, who had 74,000, got a much larger portion of land than, let's say, tribe of, well, Shimon was an exception. The tribe of Binyamin, who is it? Naphtali, let's say. Naphtali had 45,000. Or less, who is it? That's an example right now. Okay, those are the smaller ones. Binyamin had 45,000. Naphtali had 45,000. It's a much smaller tribe. Okay, Lemaisa, it was done by lot. Was Moshe Rabbeinu was told, should we say, Api Ruach HaKodesh, to divide out the land into 12 sections, not all equal, and like kind of the picture of the each section, or a drawing of each section, was put in a box, and another 12 names were put in another box, and Moshe drew lots, took out the name, one name for, let's say, here, took out the name Yehuda, and then he took put in the hand in the other box, and this picture came out. He says, okay, this tribe is from Yehuda. Yehuda gets this portion. And it happened to be, right, because it was done on Ruach HaKodesh, that the number of individual portions that were available in that section of land exactly fitted the number of people who were in the tribe of Yehuda.
Wait, I'm confused.
Because they technically could have done it. What?
How did they pick the section?
It was done up in Ruach HaKodesh.
You said that they drew the lot and it went into that section. How did that section get identified initially?
I don't know. It was done up in Ruach HaKodesh. Because the Ruach HaKodesh of Moshe Rabbeinu was told, draw section like this, another section like this. It was done by divine guidance.
So Hashem decided how to allocate the 13 sections.
Is it 13? Well, you mean half was on one side, half on the other. So maybe 13 sections.
Right. Menashe, you said Menashe had 2 sections.
Right.
And then the other 12, the other 11 each had 1 section.
Right.
So it's 13.
Now, what is interesting, and Rashi's going, I don't know if you have got time to go through this whole thing. This is a long Rashi there. It's good to see it when you have a chance. That Rashi says that not only was the land divided up equally, but the equality that there was in the division of each portion was not in its size. It was equality in value. You know, if somebody got a tribe who had a very, their section was a very fertile, each individual got a smaller portion than another tribe whose land which they got was less fertile. That's what Rashi says over here.
All right, well, for example,
the land wasn't divided up equally, equal size. There's a certain territories which are more better, more fertile than others, than the other ones. All according to the value, monetary value. So, I mean, if I may suggest it, it would have been an actual nightmare, right, for them to actually have to work it out. I mean, because each section of land had to be evaluated, and through that, you'd have to find out the total worth of Eretz Yisrael, and then, according to the number of people, each person will get a certain particular value of land, right? If you divide up the total value of Eretz Yisrael into 600,000 or whatever, 600,000 plus sections, and then each person will get the section of land according to that value. And then each, depending on where each tribe got their portion, each individual got his section of land according to its value.
So
if they had to do it, sorry?
So, for example, Yisachar and Zevulun. Yisachar was a seafaring nation.
Zevulun, you mean?
Zvulun was a seafaring nation. They were the ones that provided the sustenance for Yisachar. Okay, so Zvulun needed to be on the coast.
Right.
And they ended up on the coast. And the reason they ended up on the coast was because Hashem apportioned them that section on the coast, both when he guided Moshe's hand in drawing the section, and when he guided the lottery in selecting that section for
Zvulun.
Right?
Right.
Okay. So now what I'm saying is Hashem did the same thing for Menashe. He guided Moshe's hand to draw the 2 sections that Menashe was going to be in, and then he directed the lottery to pick those sections for Menashe.
Correct.
So that just as Zvulun was put into a section that was appropriate to him, my presumption is that Menashe was put into sections that were appropriate to him.
Correct.
So that's the difference.
Oh, so I don't see your question.
By giving them 2 sections, there was more leeway to give them different characteristics.
Okay,
so
that may be so, but I'm saying if they'd all been called Yosef, then maybe Yosef could have been divided up into 3 sections.
Right.
One
that's right. There's 2 ways to do that.
And 2 for his Menashe descendants. They would have all been called Yosef.
Right. But what I'm saying is, by doing what was done, Hashem accomplished that purpose.
So I didn't get the last word you said.
Purpose.
Sorry?
Purpose.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm saying that wasn't really dependent on the fact that they were called a separate tribe. They could have been, it was probably each person, I'm saying I don't know if we find it so necessarily blatantly different, the difference of the characteristics of different children of different tribes. It may well be that let's give the tribe of Don, for instance. I'm just throwing it out an example. So some of his descendants may have been more apt at agriculture, others may have been more apt at some other form of parnasa, some other form of livelihood. So therefore, Kosh Baruch Hu has probably arranged it that the agricultural adept descendants got good agricultural land, that they could maximize the yield from their particular section of agricultural land that they received. And the ones who were less adept at agriculture, they received land which was more fit for other uses. I'm just saying, giving an example. So that could be as well, that wasn't that's not really the issue. All Rashi's pointing out is that whether Yosef was called one tribe or he's called by two of his sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, it didn't really make a difference in the actual individual portions received by their descendants. Because either way, it was received, each person received exactly the right portion that was due to him. So Nafkamina was only as far as in name alone. Okay? On this point, we'll have to, I think we'll end here. And I wish you a very good Shabbos.
Have a good Shabbos, Rabbi.
Okay.
Okay.
Shalom.
Be well. Bye.
Okay. Bye now.
Good Shabbos. Call to be well.